Even when you teach, and you're teaching martial arts, and I've been teaching for 30 years, teaching and training for 30 years, as well as doing my other job. I call my martial arts training my labor of love, because I've met so many good people through that. I can't forget my wife, she's here tonight. So Virginia, thank you very much. She always encourages me and supports me in whatever I do, even though I work like crazy. I keep crazy hours. Sometimes I'm non-stop, but she always supports me. And finally, all my students that I've taught through the years, and my assistant instructors, and my own instructor, who's still teaching today, although he's up in age. A very nice, humble man. His name is Damian. In Korean, we call him Kwan Jangyun. So, 감사합니다 means thank you very much, Mr. Kwan. I refer to my teaching as a labor of love because our faith, it parallels our faith. There's no big mystique behind martial arts training or anything like that. It's not a new age type of thing. All it is basically is hard work. Many years ago, I got a chance to work with the coach of our Olympic Taekwondo training team. And he said the three things: if you have a good attitude, if you train hard, and you have a good instructor, then you'll be successful. So it's kind of worked out for me. I never thought I'd really be teaching this long and be involved this long, because it is physically challenging, but it's been a gift. So I'm accepting that gift more and more, and just going from there. And if God wants me there, I'll be there for a while. It's also mentally challenging. We learn thousands and thousands of techniques, and it takes time to learn that, and time to associate that to other people, and to work that way. But also spiritual. It's like I say, some of the rules, some of the tenets we have, some of the things we do, the history involved, kind of goes hand in hand with our faith. You have to be humble to teach this stuff. It's very important that it's been taught the right way. You don't want anybody getting hurt or misusing it. That's one of our big rules, especially for the children. We say, you never misuse the martial arts. In anybody's work, no matter what you do, something's going to arise where, there's a situation that's bigger. It's bigger than us. It's bigger than our work. That's it. And so, my example of that is about my young student who's joined me tonight. He has a little situation where he has two wonderful grandparents who are raising him this evening. I mean, during his life, they are his family right now. He sees his mother, but there was one occasion where she wasn't able to see him. So before class, I teach the youngsters at 4 o'clock, Monday through Thursday. He asked me, he said, Mr. Cook, I got this situation here, and I didn't feel too comfortable about it. Because naturally, you want to see your mother. And so I said, well, listen, we've got to pray for her. Okay? Both of us, we have to pray for her. You have to pray for her. I have to pray for her. We have to pray together. And I know He's going to make everything right. He always does in the long run. Sometimes we want it when we want it. So anyway, I also said, his name is Damian, he's here with us this evening. I said, Damian, you have to pray for me too. I'm just a struggling sinner, just like everybody else. I may be here as your instructor and trying to help you out as best as I can, but I need prayer too. So we are prayer warriors together, and I know that all these good people here tonight too are going to be praying for Damian and his family too. We can fill in the blanks for each one of us wherever we struggle. Okay, it might be a family issue, it might be a job issue. No matter what it is, we have to turn to prayer. There's no way around that. If we don't, then we lose sight of the big picture. So, before I say anything else, my young friend is going to join me up here for a minute, and he's going to tell.
Some of the children's rules he wants us to follow are respect your parents, and clean your room, and get straight A's in school, and use Taekwondo as self-defense, like he said earlier. He likes us to train hard so we can become strong and eventually reach the goal that he's trying to reach. It's fun. It helps you like build confidence sometimes. You go through a lot of training actually, and some of the bends that you do are just unbelievable and nerve-wracking sometimes. 'Cause they hurt sometimes if you do them wrong.
Everybody here is going to fight for you in one way or another, okay?
I just don't know how. Dad just have to break anyone's head or anything.
Oh, yeah, you won't. Just stand right here. You're going to be good.
Too heavy.
Get in your stance. Look at the center.
Thank you.
Oh, of course.
First kick?
Get close. No. Just use your palm, okay?
You know what? Let's move that podium over so I can get the camera. Good. Okay.
Just breathe, okay? Tap with your palm. Put your fingers back. Just like you did it the other day. Please breathe more. Okay.
Wow.
He's a great young guy, isn't he?
Yeah.
First of all, my instructor always referred to his students, and he's tough. So he's one of the highest ranking instructors in the world, as his Taekwondo family. So it's a family aspect in training. And I like to keep that tradition going because the family's always been so important for me. I have 4 brothers and 1 sister, and my brother Jim is here with me tonight to support me. And, I've always had their support. My mother always wanted us to stick together. If there was anything that she had an intention of, that was, you guys got to stick together. So we did. And it's a long story there too, but she went through a lot of trials in her life too. And she made a pledge to God that if she could stay alive to see my younger brother, when we were born on the same day, 3 years apart, to see him grow up, because she was so sick at the time, that she would dedicate herself to keeping us all close to God. So, Mom, it's worked. Anyway, also in the martial arts training, we try to do positive reinforcement. There's so many bad examples to young people nowadays in the media, on TV, on the radio. It's like anything goes. We all know that. So the rules are so important for them. No profanity. Keep your uniform clean. Respect your parents. All these things, and it goes for all the adults the same way. We always say please. I always say please and thank you. Respect is at the heart of this stuff too. Physical fitness is always there. We have to work hard, so it helps you, helps your body and your mind. Self-defense, you learn so many techniques. Discipline, respect for yourself, respect for other people. Our student's oath is, I shall observe the tenets of Taekwondo, shall respect my instructors and seniors, will never misuse the Taekwondo arts, be a champion of freedom and justice, and I'll help to build a more peaceful world. So that's a lot of responsibility for a student to know. And when I teach, I have a class that I teach just for advanced training. My black belts and those who want to reach that black belt level have to come to my advanced training class. We do the traditional bow, which is on our knees, and we say the student's oath before we do the class. So they know that this is a leadership class as well as a technical class. The tenets are five tenets. Everybody who's trains in martial arts should know: courtesy, integrity, perseverance, self-control, indomitable spirit. There's about 21 school rules, but the one that I like to pound into the heads of most of my students is to treat your body as the temple of the Holy Spirit, right? No drugs, okay? Growing up in the 60s and 70s, I've seen a lot of good people, wasting their life. What for? I mean, if there's one thing I can tell young people, it is stay away from that. Come to class, work out hard, work up a sweat, feel good about yourself, but also feel humble. And so I think that's it for now. So if anybody has any questions, I'll be glad to answer. And if you ever want to contact me, feel free to do so. Yes?
Damian said something very profound. He said the most important thing is to listen. And I didn't know if that was something that you taught him or something that just came to him through all of his training.
Yes.
Yes,
I try to teach all the young students. I have a lot of students that are much younger even than Damian, and naturally they have energy and they want to move all the time. But as part of the training is to sit still for a while, stand at attention, or sit at attention and listen. But you know what? I find that I have to listen to them too. Because if I don't listen, I'm not going to pick up on things like this with Damian or with any of my other students who are going through so many different things in their lives too. Some of them are I had one he started out 6, 7 years old, and I made him my assistant. He's 26 now. He's been training with me for over 20 years. I think he's just graduated college, just moved out of the area. But I have to listen to everybody too. Yes. Yes.
Sounds like this should be in the curriculum of schools.
I think so. I mean, it is in other countries, but it's nothing but beneficial especially to young people. And I always suggest it. When any parent comes with a child and they don't know what it's all about, I try to tell them that this is the total workout, not just for the body and for the mind and for the discipline. And a lot of them tell me or ask me, are they going to learn anything else? Because I want them to have more respect and to stay away from watching too many videos and doing too many video games and stuff like that. So I think it should be. I really think it should be. Even if it's once a week or something for some schools. In Asia, it's practiced quite a bit in the schools. Anything else? Yes, Rich.
Comment and question.
Yes.
Comment is a wonderful job of bringing us an example. And that we got to meet Damian. We love Damian. It was nice. Thank you, Damian, for joining us. And doing such a nice job in telling us, and explaining things.
Okay.
But I think mostly is when, he's yellow belt, I think, right?
Right.
And what is the first? Is it a white belt and then a yellow belt?
Yes.
And then what happens?
Then there's green belts.
Yeah, I know from there.
Okay.
High green, blue, brown, high brown, red, black, first degree, second degree, and to 9. I'm just going to go that way.
Oh, there's a lot of levels.
They're basically the first 8 levels of the color belts are called cub. That's the primary levels before you reach black belt. And there's 8. No matter some schools use different color systems. I'm just going with what my instructor did for many years. I didn't change. Some other schools use an orange belt or a purple belt, but basically there should be about 8 levels before you reach the black belt. And then, like Damian said, there is 9 levels of black belt. I'm a 5th degree black belt. My instructor is a 9th degree. It's not all about though getting the degrees and that, but what's good about it is that every belt that they earn, they must earn first of all, and so there's a goal to achieve. It's very goal oriented.
So it's always something in front of them. So
right. There's more requirements to each level. At first it's very basic. You do a simple pattern with no kicks, and they have to memorize the sequence. It's 19 moves, and then the next one adds another pattern on, and then self-defense techniques. They learn about 5 different self-defense techniques for every level too. Starts out with very basic ones and goes on from there, and then of course more breaking technique, when you get to be a black belt, you should be able to break the bricks and the stones. And so that's, you know, it's a hard process sometimes. Sometimes the breaking part is in your mind. If you do the proper technique, it's no problem. That's why one of our school rules is, remember, you're being taught a deadly art. You treat it with respect, and above all, never misuse it. So when you see somebody sit down and break a stack of bricks, it's real, you know, but it's in the mind. If you don't believe that you can do it, and if you're not going to execute the right technique, it doesn't work. If you're thinking, if your mind is somewhere else, it's not going to happen. And it's happened to all of us sometimes too, you know. I've seen my instructor, you know, sit down in front of a stack of bricks and break them with his head, but then every other times when there's these big slabs and he hit it and, oh, that's hard, you know, and it doesn't break right away, or you got to come back another day. But that's the encouragement part of this. Don't get discouraged just because you miss one part of it. There's so many aspects to martial arts training, and if you miss a break, it's not the end of the world. You come back and do it again. Maybe you'll be more focused next time. Something like that. Yes.
So what do you think keeps these kids coming back and back?
Well, that's a good question. I think the challenge is there. They're constantly challenged with new techniques, new patterns to learn, and that's hard too, because they have to memorize them. They have to. When you do a form, it's called form. In Korean, it's called punse. In Japanese, it's called kata, and some of you might be familiar with that. But it's hard to learn these things, and it's a challenge. And when they do them with grace and rhythm and beauty, it's almost, that's like the art of the martial arts. I think that's part of it. I think it's exciting when they learn new things. And like Damian was saying, it's nice when you can help out. I don't do this alone. I don't do anything alone. And my assistants, God bless them, I'm glad they're there helping me. I had so many good ones through the years. So that's a sense of responsibility that they have when they get a little higher through the ranks. So I think that's part of it.
Have you ever had to use martial arts in self-defense?
Well, that's a good question. In some ways, yes. In some ways, no. I hate to sound wishy-washy, but after I got up like past second degree or towards master ranking, when you're above fourth degree, you're a master instructor. You get to know when these situations are coming a lot better. Your sense of awareness is a lot better, and if you're really teaching the right way and living according to the philosophy of this whole thing, you should be able to diffuse this situation. When I was younger, you know, I'm not too big, so I went through a lot of the same struggles as the other kids, and I did more scraping and fighting back then. And then when I was training close to black belt level, I used to compete in the tournaments myself. But as far as really whacking somebody, I haven't